1270 AM, The Source.
WOCA.
Alright, some Motown sounds. Bob Kennedy, Berkshire, Hathaway, Home Team Realty.
Thank you, Mr. Cool.
It's the cool sound. Motown.
I love that Motown sound.
I love that Motown sound. There. It's the show with the never-ending theme song. The ever-changing theme song. I mean,
The ever-changing.
Bob can't. You can't hear it, can you?
Yeah, I heard
You
it.
can hear a little bit? Okay.
Yeah, it was good.
It does sound like me and Mrs. Jones. Me and Mrs. Jones. Doesn't it sound like that?
Sort of, yeah.
That era?
Sort
Wow.
of.
Well,
That
It
era.
definitely sounds like that era.
Bob Kennedy is here from Berkshire Hathaway Home Team Realty, and it's always fun to have a different song every week.
Every week.
Every week a different song.
And I'm old enough to remember most of them, which might be bad.
Father's Day is Sunday, and my suggestion, get Dad a new house.
Absolutely. We're running a special. Dad gets Sears gift card for tools with every house purchased in the next 1 hour.
Oh,
There you go.
okay.
That's
All right.
great.
You had to be
great.
careful there. You had to be careful. So that's a good way to start the show.
Sure.
When you're talking to a married couple, I'm guessing the mom, especially if they're an older married couple, the wife probably wants something different than what the husband wants. He probably, and what is typically the guy's request? What is he looking for?
Well, if a lot of guys like, a man cave, room they could set up for themselves. They like.
We used to call that a tool shed.
They also ask for tool sheds, a garage that they could, a lot of guys like to putter around, and if they're retired, a lot of them have, they make stuff that, maybe it was involved with their profession
Yeah, right,
years
right,
ago.
right.
But their requests are, usually overridden by what
No,
the missus
that's
says.
not right.
That's not right.
Did I say that?
I think
did
you
that
did.
come out loud?
I think so.
Well, I think you're right. The women are very verbal when it comes to a house.
No, I mean, no. Everybody has things that they want. The guy stuff, that's usually what it comes
But
down
an
to.
outside tool shed, a detached from the rest of the house, you have your own radio going, your own fan going, or
Got your own lock.
Sometimes.
you don't have to lock it. She can
No,
come in if she
yeah,
wants
well,
to. She's
listen.
never coming in anyway.
If you have, we've had guys that have built separate buildings for everything from train sets to.
Oh, see, now that's a guy thing.
I mean,
yeah.
it could be a ton of things, but usually it's a place to kind of escape to, watch TV or putter around.
Yeah, do
Yeah.
something. Do you own a vice?
Do I own a vice, such as?
No, I don't mean a vice like a habit. I mean,
I know what you
that
mean.
big metal thing that you
I think we have. I think
don't
we
own
have
one.
one or two laying around.
My dad had one. We had a tool area.
Uh-huh.
He had a tool room, I guess, in my house up in New York. And then when he moved down here, he had a tool shed. And there was always this big metal thing that you could screw and hold things in while you're drilling into them.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
Wasn't that called a vice?
That was
Yes.
called a mafia starter kit.
Yeah, there you go.
For interrogations. But when you're gluing or like if you're putting together wood pieces and you have to
Right,
glue them and or hold something in place
Like when
while
we
you
used to
drill.
You got to clamp them.
We used to saw off the barrels to our shotguns. We used to put them in that thing.
Yeah. I just why wouldn't you?
I'm teasing. I
I
didn't do
know
that.
you didn't never had a shotgun.
I never had a
know
shotgun in my
people
life.
that
I had a pop gun. I had a BB gun.
Nobody with a shotgun would put it in a vice. They're going to take better care of it than that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so
That's a different show. That's what's that guy Tim the Tool Man.
yeah.
That's for his installment.
That's right. His expertise.
So do you have any plans for Father's Day yourself?
No, none at all. Just kind of hanging out.
Your children live up north?
I have one here in town. I have one in Seattle. My oldest
that's right,
daughter's in
yes.
Seattle, and my other daughter's
That's
in
right.
Miami.
Oh, my
So my
gosh.
son's here, so he gets the burden of having
Nobody's
to,
in New Jersey?
No, nobody's been from New Jersey. No, we left there in '91.
Okay.
Nobody's been back, so it's everybody's spread out. My daughters can't be further apart. Miami Beach
I know.
and Seattle.
I
Yeah.
know. I was just
Yeah.
thinking that. Yeah.
But you got your grandbaby, so that's nice.
Yes, absolutely. But we need to talk about some real estate.
Yeah, we do. We do. Do you have any that you want to focus on? I usually save that till the end, but
Well, I think that one of the things that we're seeing right now is a lot of buyers are, with the market picking up, they're starting to really look at the buy-up market. Many first-time home buyers now have equity in their homes, or a lot more equity in their homes than they've had in recent years, and they're saying, hey, all of a sudden I need that fourth bedroom, I want a guest room, we have another kid, all those things that I'm making more money, my job's a little bit more secure, so they're looking to do that buy-up, which is starting to free up more inventory for the first-time home buyers, which has really been a crunch right now. It's really hard to find a move-in ready home like in the 120s or in that range. Where
Oh my
3-4
gosh.
years ago that was around 90 to 100,000.
can I ask you something? When you're looking for a real estate agent to represent you, whether you're buying or selling, how do you know? Like in your case, I mean, you're with an established firm, Berkshire Hathaway.
Right.
That's established. So maybe that's an answer to my question. But how would you really know? I mean, is there a diploma on the wall that says, "Oh yes, I got my degree. I can sell houses"? Or
Well, you have to be licensed.
and even a young guy or gal who is new might have their license, but still might not have. Does that person usually work with somebody older just in case there's a question?
Sure. Sometimes there's teams, sometimes there's mentoring programs, but the best thing a consumer can do, whether you're buying or selling, is you interview the agents to see what is it they're bringing to the table. You can have a great experienced agent and you're going to be happy with that person. But you can also meet someone who's fairly new in the business, but because they don't have a big client list, because they are super motivated, they're going to give you everything they got. And sometimes that is a huge benefit for the person. When I first started in real estate, and virtually everybody starts the same way, you're starting from ground zero. But when I would first meet with people and they'd say, well, you don't have very many listings, and I would tell them, no, I don't, but man, I'm dead serious about this thing, and I will give you 100% 24/7 if you give me a shot. And that's a really, really important factor. Enthusiasm makes up for some skills things in the beginning, because they're gonna knock themselves out to take care of you.
And sometimes people want to try to coerce the realtor into lowering the price quite a
Sure.
bit for the house. How do you stay strong with something like that?
Well, in today's world, it's pretty easy because everybody knows the price of things. So if you go into a house, say you're going into a house in Four Ranch, and you have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a den, there's lots of information that shows what all those houses have sold for over the last 6 months. The same square footage, the same models. So we know you'll see what's on the
really?
market. So you know what the price is.
Yeah,
You can't say my house is worth $25,000 more than the guy next door.
Right.
It just isn't going to happen.
You can't get away with that.
Yeah, so the market analysis, the data today, that's what you have to support.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's take that first break. The phone lines are open if you want to call Bob. The number is 622-9622. If you want to call Bob at his office, the number is at 622-9700.
You got it.
622-9700. We'll give you the other information, websites, etc., later on in the show. We'll take a break right now and be right back.
Ameris Bank, we understand that there is no purchase more exciting than the purchase of a new home. We are dedicated to helping you find the mortgage that meets your needs and giving you the personal attention you deserve. Our mortgage options offer a variety of benefits, including up to 100% financing, down payment assistance, and expansive credit qualifications, all with the competitive rates and exceptional service. Call Ameris Bank today or visit amerisbank.com to learn more. We look forward to serving you.
Ameris Bank is an equal housing lender and member of FDIC, a loan subject to credit approval. The sound of the bat cracking, the crowd cheering, the smell of overpriced but tasty hot dogs, the memories that will last a lifetime of your first baseball game with little Johnny. Your team wins. It was a great night until you get home. It's 9 p.m. and your wife says you have no water.
We have no water.
What do you do?
What do you do?
Rule number 1, don't panic. Remain calm. Okay, that's 2 rules.
We don't have time for jokes, funny man.
Okay, think back. On the way home, you heard a radio commercial.
Mike Scott Plumbing. If water runs through it, we do it.
Eureka! You saved the day. You remembered that Mike Scott Plumbing doesn't charge extra for nights, weekends, or holidays. You are a genius.
Hey, Mr. Genius, did you remember the phone number?
Of course you did. Remember, you're a genius. 352-237-2888. Because at Mike Scott Plumbing, if water runs through it, we do it. Even if water's not running through it at this particular moment. Mike Scott Plumbing.
The many causes of back pain vary, some of which can be very scary. Whether your tweak begins up high in your neck or down lower just above your cheek, acupuncture can help ensure that you have a pain-free week. Come see me, Dr. Erica Olstein, at A Better You Healthcare, just off of 27th Avenue behind the Paddock Mall. Call today to set your acupuncture appointment. Call 352-615-5566 and visit abetteryouhealthcare.com.
I'm Mary Sue, the Director of Clinical Services at Palm Garden of Ocala.
And I'm Heather, the Assistant Director. I began my career as a nursing assistant 20 years ago.
Wow, I know that had to be physically demanding, but very rewarding.
Yes, it was, Mary Sue. As CNAs, we got to know our residents very well and noticed changes in condition probably faster than anyone.
All the nurses rely heavily on the excellent CNAs we have at Palm Garden, don't we, Heather?
We sure do, Mary Sue, and that's why we want to wish them Happy CNA Week from Palm Garden of Ocala.
You can't put it off any longer. It's time to replace your home's AC system.
The answer is ACEsolvesItAll.com and an exceptionally efficient AC system. Let the pros at ACE show you how you can save on energy monthly and give your family added comfort. The great thing is that ACEsolvesItAll.com is on call 7 to 7, 7 days a week at no extra charge.
For a limited time, mention WOCA and get a special discount.
Call 877-765-4ACE or ACEsolvesItAll.com.
12 minutes before 10 o'clock. It looks like it wants to rain out there. Do you say, Bob Kennedy, did you say it's fixing to rain or it's getting ready to rain or something different? How do you say it?
I probably have said all of the above.
It's fixing to rain, you say
but
that?
I don't probably say that on a regular basis.
It's going to rain? It's going to rain?
Gonna
rain?
Gonna.
Yeah. What do you say?
It's gonna rain.
Gonna rain.
It's fixing to rain.
Oh, you do
That's
say
what I
fixing
say.
to.
Yeah.
Fixing to.
Yeah. I've been in Ocala for a long time, but some of the
things rub off on you.
Jargon.
Yeah, like some of them do. You know, being from up north, it's hard for my mouth to say y'all. It doesn't.
That doesn't happen.
It doesn't. It doesn't work as well.
You break it down into
or use guys.
Yeah.
Use guys, or you break it down into its 2-word form. You all. You don't really do y'all. You do you all. I do that. I do that too.
Y'all.
By the way, Sunday is Father's Day.
Yes.
And I can I share one bad dad joke with you?
Sure.
Okay. The bad dad joke is a panda walks into a bar and says to the bartender, "I'll have a scotch and a Coke." And the bartender says, "What's with the big paws?" He says, "I was born with them."
That's a bad joke.
That's a bad dad joke.
That's a really bad dad. You got to do another one after that because
it
can only get better.
Yeah.
You have a phone call, though, so let's do the phone call. I'll read some more bad dad jokes if you want me to. Good morning. You're on the air with Bob Kennedy.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
Good.
Good. I have a question. He had just mentioned you can't. It's hard to justify your house being worth more than a house that just sold in the neighborhood. What happens, for instance, if you're in a situation where, say, your house is paid for, you're thinking about downsizing, and your next-door neighbor years ago had a reverse mortgage, and the bank sat on the house for several years, and then turned around and sold, what should be $150,000 to $170,000 worth of house and shed for $110,000.
That's first of all, it's a great question. We've dealt with it a lot over the last number of years. Luckily, it's not happening as often because we don't have that many foreclosures. So as we sit here today, that house in an appraisal process is going to be valued much higher than the original sale price. So when you're doing comparative market analysis, first of all, there should be enough comparable sales to not use anything that was bank-owned anymore. Most appraisers will not use those. If they do use them, they have to upgrade the amenities of the house equal to the subject property. So it will not affect your valuation.
Okay. Yeah, because it's a very small subdivision that sits in between a subdivision with, say, smaller houses, smaller lots, and then our subdivision that might be 2 blocks that, say, the garages can't face the street and the lots are a little bigger, and then it goes into a subdivision that have like an acre plus and, 3,000 square foot homes. So.
Well, yeah, so in that scenario, when your house is being, let's say you get a contract on your house and you have a fair market value. When the bank comes out to do the formal appraisal for the loan, they're not going to take into account a house that's much smaller. They look at similar square footage, similar construction, years of construction, and condition of the home, obviously. But if you have a 3,000 square foot home and you're across the street from an 1,800 square foot home, that's not going to show up in the same appraisal.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate it.
Okay, hope it helps you.
Thank you for the question. Wow, we learned
was a good question.
That was a really good one. So sometimes the reverse mortgage can really have an effect on the neighborhood.
Well, what the issue there was that it was foreclosed on.
Oh.
Through the fact that it was foreclosed because of a mortgage. Didn't matter what. It doesn't really matter whether it's reverse or not. But but those 8-9 years ago, that was one of the reasons our values were being knocked down so badly, because there were just so many foreclosures, short sales, things like that. Yeah.
Now, when it's inclement weather like today and then it stops tomorrow, would tomorrow be a better day to go look at a home than if like all week was sunny, because you might have, leaks and things like that you would normally not notice?
No, it's just you don't want to get soaking wet running around. Yeah. Would be a bigger issue.
All right, we do have another phone call. Thank you for calling. You're on the air with Bob Kennedy.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning, everybody, and good morning, Bob. See, the realtors took a tremendous hit here with the economy the way it had been in the last several years. Personally, we know of several people who have left the field of realty because they more or less lost their jobs. There was nothing going on, and a lot of them, some went back to school and to pursue other careers, and some had just left the state, and I don't know who knows what they're doing. With the realty market coming back, is there a need for real estate people right now, or is it pretty much to stay away from?
Today is great question day. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. When the market tanked, a lot of people got out of the business. And unfortunately, a lot of really good people got out of the business because they just couldn't make the money. They just couldn't put up with the aggravation anymore. They were just done with it. So what happened was, the answer to your question is yes, it's a good time for people getting into real estate. And because there was like a 7 or 8 year period where nobody got into real estate. And so now you're starting to see many more people from all walks of life. But what's really interesting are the millennials, the late 20s, early 30s, people that are getting into the business. They're the next generation of real estate agents. And that's when we always like to talk about the technology and things. They're the next generation. They're movers and shakers. They're great to work with. We're lucky to have some terrific people in our office. There's other agents that we've dealt with around town. the people coming in are extremely sharp, extremely sharp.
Are there any precautions a person can take that would be in the realty market, and then when the next big downfall comes, that would kind of protect them and get them through that kind of a rough time?
Save your money. Save your money. You know, real estate's a commission business. So, I mean, you know, if you spend it as fast as it comes in, you get a little dip, you're going to have a problem.
Same problem everybody has.
And
yeah.
it's no different. It's no different. The other thing is a lot of real estate agents were their best customers. We all believed in the market. Many of them bought a lot of investment properties that took the same hit as everybody else. But if you're going to be, it's anybody that's self-employed has to learn how to put money off to the side, pay Uncle Sam, and live within a budget. If you do that, you'll be okay. If not, you're going to be like anybody else. You're just struggling to make ends meet year after year.
Okay, love your program, and thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
That's a good question, too.
Yeah.
By the way, if you want to ask another question, feel free to do so. The number is 622-9622.
I think you tell a bad joke, it makes people call.
Oh, really? You want to hear another one? Want to hear another one? Let's see. This is another bad dad joke. What did the mountain climber name his son?
What?
Cliff.
That was another bad. It's hard to believe that there could be that. Well, you said the website was bad dad jokes.
No, it's called niceonedad.com.
Oh, wow.
Nice one, Dad.
What do you call a cow with no legs?
What?
Ground beef.
Nice.
I know.
Nice.
I'm sure when your son was growing up, though, when he was little, he probably had like a bad dad joke book or something.
I'm sure all kids do.
He
I'm
did that,
sure,
yeah.
some of them they repeated to us, and some they kept to themselves.
Yeah.
But I'm sure
Well,
there was
is
all kinds of jokes.
But this was my theory. My theory was that when we're young men, we're telling inappropriate jokes to each other. Then when we have kids, you got to stop doing that. You got to start telling jokes that they can tell.
And I think all little kids, the same things that were funny when we were. There's certain things that are always funny. You know, the same stupid things, whether it's whoopee cushions or and you know, things like. I mean,
you know, when I was a kid, my mom and dad bought a house that I grew up in, and it had a playhouse in the backyard. I mean, a little house. I mean, there was a separate garage for the car that was also served as a tool shed for my dad, but we had a little house that we played in. Even though we were boys.
yeah. Well, it was like a tree fort, except on the ground.
Well, what it was a place to have turtles. We put our turtles in there. And,
Really?
Yeah, we found turtles when we put them in.
Wow.
Yeah, after a while, it smelled so bad.
I bet it did.
Yeah.
That's not an easy place to keep turtles up north.
Sometimes when you drive down the road, you see different houses going up with the different kinds of construction. Sometimes they're block, and sometimes they're just wood frames. Yeah, which is better to buy for the price?
We get that question a lot. You know, in most of houses around here are block homes. Some builders build frame. Some people will think that there's less chance of termite damage with a block home. I think it's just a personal preference. I think everybody's got to build to the same code. The insulation is the big thing. You're going to have that no matter what, especially with the new construction. You're going to have the same type of termite control and issues like that. They're going to, you know, the extermination companies come out there to take care of everything. It's really just a personal preference. If somebody's buying a home that's more than one story, more times than not, that's going to be framed just because it's easier to work with, and you can architecturally you can do more with frame probably than you can with block.
Oh, okay.
And I think newcomers to the state probably are looking for something strong, thinking that block would be stronger in a storm than a wood frame, but it's not true.
No, everything's built to the same code. But people have preferences, and you know, sometimes we'll get a call. It's like, don't show me anything that's not a block home.
Well, I'm good to have you on as always. Your number is 622-9700. Your website is
BHHSHometeamRealty.com.
All right, thank you. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Stay dry. We'll be right back.
96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. We could soon have more clues into the crash of an Egypt Air flight which killed all 60